Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Thijs van As, and I'm a product manager for Gmail. And today, I'm very excited that we're announcing a completely new way of integrating your app's functionality right into Gmail, right when the user needs it most. And not just on Gmail for web, but also natively on Android and on iOS. And how this works, I'll tell you later during this session. And I'm super excited that it's not just me talking about Gmail add-ons today, but we actually have 3 of our very valuable partners with me today that will be showing off a demo of the add-ons that they've been building over the past few weeks using this new framework. I'll introduce them to you later during the session. First, let's start taking a look at this big shift that's been happening in application software recently, and it's called the cloud. Specifically, when we look at the workplace, we see that there's all these types of software like project management, CRM, invoicing, and it's all moving into the cloud. And if it's not there already. And now let's take a look at how email behaves in this space between all these different types of productivity software. For many of us, email is the central place where stuff happens at work. Whether it's good or bad, email is basically a task list for us. And for most of us, this means that we're switching constantly between Gmail and other types of productivity applications. For example, if I'm a marketer, I'm switching between Gmail and Marketo. If I'm an HR person, I'm switching between Gmail and LinkedIn. Or if I'm a salesperson, I switch between my CRM and Gmail. And as you've heard this morning during Prabhakar's keynote, G Suite is not just a random bunch of apps. No, it's actually a very thoughtful workforce platform, where each and every individual app is meant to work very well together. And there's a lot of deep integrations between the individual Gmail apps, which we're launching more and more. And we recognize that people are not just using Gmail apps or G Suite apps at work. They're using all these other apps that we just talked about. And that's why we acknowledge that G Suite apps needs to work very well with all the other cloud applications. We all know this, right? It's a pain. For me, my browser tabs, they're often so narrow that I don't even see the icons anymore. And it really drives the point home. Switching contacts is a pain. And let's not even start talking about how this is on mobile. Because on mobile, I mean, even if you have installed the app already, it's just annoying. And we all know that we're doing more and more on our phones. When we look at this graph, we see that the number of emails that we're opening is a lot more on mobile than on desktop. And what's even more apparent here is that the rate this increases is much stronger on mobile. And that's why we're introducing Gmail Addons today, a new extensibility framework to integrate your app's functionality into Gmail, right when the user needs it most. Natively on Android and on iOS and on web. Without further ado, let me show you a demo of what this actually means. Could we switch to the Chromebook? The other screen on the Chromebook, please. Okay, and let me set that straight. Yeah, it's fixed. Yeah, not a problem. All right, so what we're looking at here, this is my mailbox, and I cleaned it up for the moment. And you see I have an email from my coworker, Ernesta, and it has the subject, catching up over coffee. So let's take a look at it, what she's actually asking. So she asked me, hey, do you have time to catch up over coffee? I'm available at 3 p.m. next Friday. And she sent this a few days ago to me. So now, if we look at the right-hand side of the screen here, we see an icon, and this is the Google Calendar icon. It's in black and white, though. And this is the Google Calendar add-on that we built together with the team as an initial prototype to show off what the power is of these add-ons. So this add-on, it triggered for this email because Ernesta asked me if I'm available to meet with her. So now when I tap on this icon, a panel comes up. And what it does, it shows me what is my agenda for the moment, or for the day where she asked me to meet. So in this case, she asked me to meet at Friday, tomorrow. So it shows me what is my agenda for tomorrow. And so see, like I have a couple of events already, and from here, it shows me whether I'm busy or I'm free at the specific time. In this case, I'm busy. And in fact, I'm busy with the same event, catching up over coffee, because I did this demo 20 minutes ago, and I forgot to clean it up. But that's nice, because we actually showed that it's actually really working. So, but what I can do from here, I can actually send her a new invitation, or I can just open up the thing in Google Calendar, and then from there do something. So now I want to show you that I can actually create this invitation. But I'm not going to show that on the desktop. I'm going to show that on the phone, because a key part of the add-ons framework is that it's cross-platform. So if we could please switch to the Android phone. Then we're looking at my same inbox. No, that's the wrong device. It's open. If you could switch to the iPhone, I can do it on the iPhone, because it's cross-platform. All right, so here we're on the iPhone. And so I opened up the same message. See here, same email. In the bottom right corner of my phone, I see the same Google Calendar icon. So when I tap on it, you see the exact same UI as we just saw a moment ago on web, natively rendered. And so it shows my agenda for Friday. Shows it like split screen, so I can see both the message content and I can see the content that the add-on provides me. In this case, I want to see it a bit bigger, so I'm making the add-on full screen. And now let's continue. The demo that I actually wanted to show you is creating an event. So I tap on the Create Event button. It will take me to a new screen, and you see that there are a lot of the event details already automatically filled out by the Google Calendar add-on. So you see there's a title that's suggested, the guests or the participants are already filled out, and the date and the time. Now I can add a location to the event or a description. In this case, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to toggle sending invitations, because then Ernesta will know that I actually wanted to meet with her. So now I press save, and I get a confirmation. When I tap on View Event, it will open up in the Google Calendar app. In this case, no real need for that, so I just tap OK, and then I get a confirmation over here. Can we go back to the slides? So this was a nice demo of an integration between Google Calendar and Gmail. But what I'm even more excited about is that some of our partners have been building even better integrations. And I'd like to introduce Ursula Shekufendeh, a product manager at Prosperworks, to show off the demonstration of the add-on that they have built over the past weeks.
Thank you. Can we get the Pixel device to show? My name is Ursula, and for those of you who are not familiar with Prosperworks, we're a CRM solution born to address the problem of complexity with CRM by focusing on automation and ease of use. And two ways that we were able to accomplish that is actually there involves Google, so we were able to integrate with the G Suite apps, and we've also adopted material design, which gives our users the look and feel that they're so familiar with. So we are actually recommended in the G Suite marketplace. Google Teams actually are using Prosperworks. We love everything Google, especially the Pixel, so I'm glad it's showing up. Am I using the iPhone instead? All right, first time on the iPhone, but I really do prefer the Pixel. And we were really excited when we learned about this project, so we were thrilled to jump in, and I'm going to show you what we have been working on. Great. So I'm going to pretend just for you today that I'm a salesperson, and I'm on my way en route to see a customer to show a demo. And what I'm going to do actually is open up an email that I just happened to receive from that very customer. Hey, Ursula, I wanted to let you know that Brian Crushing, a former colleague of mine who is also looking for a similar solution for his business, will be joining our meeting today. Great, sounds like a new lead. What am I going to do? Am I going to mark the email as unread and then wait to add it into my system later? No. I could open up the ProsperWorks app and then add that lead, but as you probably see coming, there's a way easier way to do that now. I can actually just tap on the ProsperWorks logo here on the bottom right corner, and it pulls up all of the contacts that are included in that email thread. So there's myself, Ursula, the system user. There's Ben, who's my contact, and then Brian Crushing, who was copied on the email. And if I select Brian, I can actually expand this card and get a full view, and I get all the information that ProsperWorks was able to gather about that contact based on the email address, and I can add that person as a lead. There we go. So I have that lead. I don't have to worry about it again until ProsperWorks reminds me later that I need to follow up, and I'm done. So now I'm going to focus on my meeting that's coming up, and I want to do a very good job on my demo. And what I do for that is actually look into Ben's information. I can get the full details of that contact from ProsperWorks, and I can look at activity, so interactions that I've had with this prospective client in the past, be it notes that I've made or calendar events or phone calls that I've had with this person. I can see here on the top note, these are the things that he cares about, so I'm going to be sure to touch on those when I meet with him in person and look totally prepared. I can also see any related items to that contact, including the opportunities, tasks, and calendar. And let's say maybe I want to dig a little deeper and look at more info. This one is not set up, but it deep links actually into the ProsperWorks app, which means that I don't have to open up the app, search for that contact, and waste time doing so, switching to different apps from the mobile devices. Thijs was explaining, it's a little cumbersome. I can actually just do it right from the add-on, and it will take me straight to the opportunity record and show me any details. So I went into the demo. It went great, so flawless, and I want to maybe write a quick thank you note to the client, and while I'm in Gmail, might as well also log a note here and make a note of the meeting that I just had. I'm going to say demo went great. And maybe like I got a round of applause, maybe. And then I'll save, and you'll notice that activity is now logged into, associated to that contact, and I'll see the same activity across all platforms, so the apps, the web app, and I'm done. And I know that our customers will be chomping at the bit, won't be able to wait to get this functionality. They're going to be probably as excited as we were to work on this. And I want to give a shout out to Steve, Olm, and Ben, and Eric who have worked on this. And a huge thank you to Thijs and his team for making this tool available, which will make our users' lives so much easier.
Can we switch back to the slides? Thank you very much, Ursula, and also thank you for being flexible and doing the demo on a different device. Great. So when we think about what was the reason why we introduced Gmail Add-ons, it's all about making our users more productive, helping them waste less time in Gmail. And we did this by bringing them your app's functionality close to where they need it. And we do this by showing those add-on icons in the UI for each message where it's relevant. Now, there's of course a risk here, because this might result in like a wildfire of different icons for different add-ons. So what we did is we built the framework in such a way that you can trigger your add-on when it's contextually relevant. So for example, the Google Calendar add-on that you just saw, it only triggered for an email that contained an intent from the sender to set up a meeting. It doesn't just trigger if the meeting contains a date or a time mentioned. There's actually an intent behind it when the user wants to, when the sender of the email wants to meet. Now, I want to reiterate that it was very important for us to make this cross-platform, because we realized there were some options today to extend Gmail on the web, but given the rise of mobile usage, we wanted to make sure this was desktop and mobile. Now, with that, we realized there was not a good development pattern today to do this on desktop and mobile. and especially not doing it efficiently without a lot of hassle. So we started thinking about a new development paradigm for these Gmail add-ons. And first of all, Gmail add-ons, they're written in AppScript. If you're not familiar with AppScript, AppScript is a JavaScript runtime in the cloud, specifically built for integrating and enhancing G Suite applications. So it had tons of APIs to integrate with other G Suite apps. Like, it's very easy to build like a quick integration with Google Drive, Google Calendar, and Google Docs, for example. And now, and it's also super easy to hook up your own APIs into AppScript. You could already build Google Docs add-ons with AppScript, but now today you can also build Gmail add-ons. However, this doesn't say anything yet about like how this is cross-platform. And for that, we build a new design system using cards. So let me walk through that with an example. So what you're looking at here is like an example add-on that we called Contacts. And what it does, it shows for all the people in an email conversation, it will show me some contact information coming from my address book. And by means of this add-on, I'm going to tell you what the card system actually means. So in this case, all the information for one contact is all on one card. Now, a card consists of a couple of individual components. So there's a header of the card. In this case, the header contains like the profile picture of the sender, and it contains the name of the contact. And there's a couple of other variations that we have, but here's an example. Then a card contains one or more sections, and in these sections, you basically combine your different UI elements. And for these UI elements, we call them widgets here. Here's an example of a widget, so where we show the email address of the sender. Currently, we have a whole library available of UI widgets, anything from interactive widgets like text inputs, drop-downs, checkboxes, to information representation widgets like images, paragraphs, and label description pairs. And sometimes your add-on, it needs to return multiple cards to the user. So in the case of this Contacts app, we might want to show a card for each person in the conversation, also the people that are CC'd, for example. And in that case, what our system will do is it will collapse the multiple cards that you have into one overview, and then the user can tap on an individual card to expand it and basically do a deep dive. And that's, for example, what you saw just in the ProsperWorks add-on just a moment ago. All right. So that's the card system, but it's still pretty high level. So how does this look in code? I want to show you that by means of a very tiny, simplified example. So I made the Contacts example even simpler. So super tiny card with just a header, then one section that contains just the email address of the sender and the section as a header. So let's look at how this looks in code. As a first step, we're creating a new instance of a card by calling the create card method. Now, we're giving this card a header, because every card needs a header. And in that header, we're giving it two pieces of information. In this case, the profile picture of the sender, and also the name of the sender. And as I mentioned before, there's a bunch of other variations. You can leave out the picture, you can add some other lines of text, but this is basically it. Now, we're adding a section to this card. And in that section, we can use it to put our UI widgets in there. But first, before creating a section, or before adding UI widgets, we want to give this section a title or a header. That's optional, but in this case, we're calling it contact info. And now let's create our one and only UI widget, which in this case, we use the key value widget, which is pretty generic. It's a way to create pairs of a label and a description. In this case, we're using an icon as a label, the email icon, and we're using the email address as the description. But there's a bunch of other variations. It's quite flexible. So as you see here, this is quite a short piece of code. Of course, also quite a simple add-on, but it's really simple. And the magic here is like this translates into a nice UI, fully material design, not just on one platform, but on 3. And you've already seen the demo on an Android or on a Chrome device and on an iPhone. And hopefully the next demo we will do on an Android device. And with that, I'd like to introduce Krzysztof Obłucki, who is a software engineer at Salesforce. And he will show you a demo that he built for a Salesforce add-on. Can we switch to Android now?
Hello, everyone. My name is Krzysztof. Hi, my name is Krzysztof Obłucki. I'm an engineer at Salesforce, and I'm going to show you the stuff that we've built with Google in the past couple of weeks. It's pretty exciting. I'm going to go into my Gmail, switch to my account here. Awesome. And essentially, our use case is very similar to ProsperWorks. We want to make sure that our salespeople and sales guys have a much easier time getting information queried out of Salesforce, creating records inside Salesforce without having to go and break out into a browser, and being able to essentially do most of the stuff that they would do there directly through the add-on and through this framework. So there's a list of emails that I have. You can imagine those being like, I don't know, like business-related emails where I would like to pull in some context based on the information there. So I can click on the Salesforce cloud here and expand the add-on, and there we go. There's a list of people that were queried out of Salesforce based on the email addresses that we have collected from Gmail and from the message itself. So here's a list of them. Those are the matches that we've come up with. So I'm going to pick one, for example, Marina here. And in there, kind of like the information that we can look up are just the email address, location, phone numbers. But on top of that, we can also look up some of the activities that the person has been up to. So things that are open, the history of activities that they have done so far based on the business that they're looking for, and also opportunities. So like global media distribution rights and all sorts of different things that are related to that particular object in CRM. So that's pretty cool. You can also break out viewing in Salesforce. You can take this and break out to do more complex set of things inside the browser itself or inside the native app. So having said that, there's other things that you can also do besides doing that, which is logging emails into Salesforce, which is a pretty interesting feature to our users specifically, which allows you to take the content of the message, put it inside Salesforce as different types of object, whether it's a task or an email item, and then provide some sort of context into who it's associated to. So those things are important for sales guys specifically when they're trying to essentially log and relate information together to make some sense out of it towards the end of the quarter. So you can select a task as the target object to relate it to. You can pick, let's say, I don't know, Marina as the person that is going to be the who on the object. And you can also select things that maybe are not in the list of current context. So most of the information that you see there listed came from the emails that were on the message. So if a person has an account associated with it, it's also pulled down. But that's not everything that you can pull down. You can, for example, search for something specific that is not listed there. So Salesforce is a pretty generic thing that should return a bunch of records. So we'll go through that, click on search. That's going to expand the list to things like leads. So we have some leads there, we have accounts, we have more opportunities. So that will serve as, for example, the what entity on the task object. So I will select the opportunity, Salesforce 500 widgets. And then up top, the whole thing updates. So whenever you leave this and then come back, you can essentially look back at this information and pull out all the context that was saved there the last time that I've done that. And that's part of the demo. The really cool thing for me from like an engineering perspective is that it really took a very short period of time to do all this stuff. I mean, it literally from nothing to what we see there, it took about 5 days. And it's pretty polished. There's like a lot of stuff there that's pretty cool. It fits very well with like what we offer at Salesforce with our existing integrations. and it's on mobile, and it's in the browser. It's really awesome. From my perspective, it was kind of nice to build this that way. And all the material UI is all built in there. You don't have to like fiddle with other things. It's all pretty much there. Oh, and there's the GitHub thing that I accidentally clicked on. Anyway, so yeah, really cool stuff. We want to thank Thijs for letting us do all this stuff. And I'll pass the mic over to you now.
Krzysztof, super awesome demo, and I'm really impressed with how we built that whole add-on in just a matter of a week, fully functional. So kudos for that. All right, so can we switch back to the slides? Want to look at what does this mean for our users now? And it basically means that all the apps and productivity tools that you guys have built already can now be brought to them right at their fingertips at the place where they need it most, at any platform where they might use Gmail. And this will basically cause them to waste less time and being more productive. Gmail Add-ons will be available through the G Suite Marketplace. This is a marketplace where you're currently able to get, for example, Google Docs add-ons. And the G Suite Marketplace will be available or will be accessible from within the Gmail app. And you can there discover the add-ons that might be relevant for your use cases. And Gmail add-ons will be available for both consumer users as well as for enterprise users, of course. So what does this mean for developers? Well, we just showed you that we have a very new development framework based around these cards that allows you to build cross-platform add-ons for Gmail, not worrying about what platform the user might be, and not worrying about what platform the user might be on. And it brings you the opportunity to bring your app or your app's functionality to the user in the right context where they need it most. And with that, I'd like to introduce our last partner, Devana Bhargava from Intuit, and she will show you what they've built.
Can we switch to the iPhone, please? All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Devana Bhargava. I'm a product manager at Intuit working on invoicing. And to walk you through this demo today, I'm going to give you a perspective from a small business owner. So I'm a small business owner who owns a catering company called Catering by Devana. Very original, I know. Anyways, as the owner, I run the day-to-day, which means anything from cooking to catering events to managing our finances. We've been growing a lot recently, which is really exciting, but at the same time, that means that we have a lot more customers, and so I need to create more invoices. Invoicing is a pretty tedious, but also time-consuming job, and so I usually end up doing invoicing on my weekends when I have a little bit more free time. Invoicing right now and in the past has, for me, been creating a document, entering it in with the items and the services that we've provided, and then saving it as a PDF, attaching it to an email, and then after that, I have to manually enter in and track who's paid me and who hasn't paid me. Then I have to send reminders, so it's a pretty tedious effort today. But I recently discovered this awesome add-on called QuickBooks Invoicing inside of Gmail. It lets me invoice my customers directly inside of Gmail, which is really awesome, especially because I use Gmail to run my entire business and as my primary way to communicate with my customers. So I'm just going to walk you through exactly how I would create an invoice. Sarah Hill is a brand new customer, and we just finished a catering event for her son's birthday party. So I need to send her an invoice so that I can get paid. And usually in the past, this would have taken me about 15 to 20 minutes per customer. So now it's gotten really fast. I need to click on the QuickBooks invoicing icon at the bottom right, expand it, and create a brand new invoice. Sarah's information has already been pre-filled because QuickBooks knows that I've been emailing with her. All I need to do is include the service that we provided for her, which is a birthday party. QuickBooks also knows that in the past we've done birthday parties and that we charge about $600 per event, and so it's pre-filled that for me as well. I can also see a preview of the invoice before sending it to Sarah. This is exactly what Sarah will see when she gets the invoice from QuickBooks. I love that I don't have to do anything, and it's beautiful and professional. So I'm just going to make sure that this is the right invoice. It has $600 and a birthday party. So I'm going to go ahead and send it to her. Invoicing is so much easier, and I can even do it while I'm on the go. I no longer need to set aside time on my weekends to invoice my customers. I can also see all of the different invoices that I've sent in the past to check if customers have paid me or not. So I'm going to click on View Invoices. Awesome, Devin James paid me $1,500 for an engagement party that we did a couple weeks ago. And in that meantime, if I scroll up, Sarah Hill's already viewed the invoice that I just sent her. With QuickBooks invoicing inside of Gmail, I can now have all the tools that I need to run my business in one place, which means that I can spend more time doing the things that I love within running my business. So thank you, and if you have any questions about how we built it or QuickBooks invoicing, please come visit booth A16. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm super excited how QuickBooks now makes it possible that small business owners can quickly send invoices right from their mailbox. It's truly nice. Could we please switch back to the slides? So now the big question, when is this all coming available? So Gmail Add-ons will be available for all consumer users and for all enterprise users later this year. But as of today, you can sign up for the developer preview, which means that you will get early access to all those APIs and that you can also start building add-ons, just like our partners here showed us. If you go to g.co/Gmail Add-ons, you can sign up right now, and we hope to start sending invitations very soon. I'm super excited about what we've seen today and what the opportunities are of this framework in the future, and I hope you are too. I can't wait to see what you all will be building in the future. And I want to thank our partners very much for the work over the past months. I think their add-ons are fantastic, and I want to give them another round of applause. And thank you too.